So in the United States, if you don't have health insurance, they aren't allowed to turn you away. So what a lot of people do is go in and give a fake social security number, or they will just get the bill and not pay it because I believe they can't take you to court over it anyways.
If you put a child on hormone blockers or some kind of hormone therapy and they stop, it's all good. We're back to normal. That is absolutely a fucking lie.
It's a lie, yeah. Pam Bondi was like, what about the Dow? The Dow's up. And I'm like, you could have said anything. You just make it worse and worse.
We believe that she's going to be the sacrificial lamb,
Yeah.
right? The fact that someone's got to fall for this. They have to have a scapegoat as to why this didn't achieve what the public wanted. Maybe it's fake. Let's presume that it's fake. Why do they want to give that to us? Why do they want us to come to the conclusion that it's fake? Like, why are they directing us down that road? All right, here we go. Welcome to the show. Claire Patriot. Claire.
Claire.
Claire's good. Okay, so let's get right to it and right into it with your post today about the kid getting hit. As I understand it, in the United States, you have teachers that are training, grooming kids to protest against ICE,
Yeah.
right? Do we have that problem in Canada? No.
Do any other countries have that problem? I can't.
I don't know. It seemed things went completely batshit with Minnesota. With that Nicole Good, which I think was justified, and then that Alex Pretti,
Yeah.
which I also think was justified. So fuck y'all. And but the fact that we're actually teaching kids to do this is just batshit crazy to me.
It is. And I have been, just people that follow me know I've been ranting for weeks. The left liked to say that it cared about children when it came to school shootings, school safety. Yet now we have these teachers and politicians and the mainstream media pushing for them to go protest, saying that that is their First Amendment right. Children have the right to an education
Absolutely.
and safety. They don't have the right to go run up and down the street. Like, they are literally running in the road. And if there was somebody that was planning a mass casualty event, wouldn't that be the perfect time?
Right, but then they'll find a way to spin doctor that into somehow Trump's fault or the right's fault or Republican values and so on and so forth. But I do agree with you. And this is a problem that we can share in terms of Canada, that teachers are there to teach children. They're not there to pass on their own sexual predilections. They're not there to pass on their own political preferences. Shut the fuck up and just do your job.
Exactly. Yeah. And also, it's very much so every form of grooming you can think about, I feel like, in these public schools, unless there are parents that are really involved. Like, they're teaching them that they should change their genders. At the same time, they're also telling them they should run around the streets and protest for people that do not care about them.
Right.
It's insane.
So for you, let's just say you have a child that wants to transition and they go to the teacher to say, I would like to transition here. Does the teacher have to advise the parent?
In Florida, yes.
They
and
do.
they are not allowed to push that in Florida.
Right. And what about other states?
Other states, it's supposed to be that way because Trump has made it so, but you keep hearing these breakthrough stories in like California or Washington where these teachers are still pushing these toxic ideologies, and so many kids regret this choice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What I don't like is the lying. So there's been a number of pundits that have said, if you put a child on hormone blockers or some kind of hormone therapy and they stop, it's all good. We're back to normal. That is absolutely a fucking lie.
It's a lie, yeah.
And that, to me, if we're gonna have discussions, once we start entering falsehoods, then what are we really discussing? There's no real common ground because you're just making shit up.
Yeah.
And fucking with a child's hormones at some point becomes irreversible.
It does, yeah. And even if it's just like you see people that try to detransition that have just been on hormones, their voice has changed forever. They have health conditions. Like, one woman was saying her liver and kidneys were stressed for the rest of her life, and she's like 25 years old.
Yeah, I mean, because of the processing of the hormone, your liver and kidneys are going to get affected. I mean, it's a very similar situation. Well, it's actually much harsher, but when someone takes steroids incorrectly, right? So for a gentleman taking testosterone too high or other compounds that are going to exacerbate the his hormonal cascade, it's horrible, right? I mean, so for a male, if you're taking testosterone and you go above and beyond your normal threshold, there is going to be a point where there's going to be an aromatization of the testosterone, which converts it into estrogen. So as a woman, when you're on your period, your hormones are all over the place, your moods are all over the place. That's what happens to a guy.
So that's what makes them like spaz out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. And now, why do you think we have so many of these people that are trying to transition, that are on hormone therapy, that are just completely unstable? To say nothing of the fact that they're probably unstable from the very beginning.
Yeah, I think that they were unstable from the beginning. And I also asked this question yesterday. Are we ever going to hold these doctors accountable that are giving them hormones rather than like putting them in a padded room or trying to figure out what's going on with them? Because
Mhm.
so many of them have just like lost their minds.
Yeah. And to some degree, we can't hold them accountable because it's the hormones that are making them worse than they are. I think myself, I believe that they should be assessed. Right. Listen, if you want to be 18, you want to do whatever the hell you want. You want to cut off your dick? Okay.
Yeah.
At 18, go ahead. But you can't fucking vote until how old is it in Canada, in US to vote?
18.
Okay. Yeah, 18. Whereas in Canada, you can transition. The teacher is not obliged to tell the parents, right? If I want to start identifying myself as Sarah and I tell my teacher, they again are not obligated to tell my parents that Bruce wants to be addressed as Sarah. How
That's
fucked is that?
that's so messed up.
Yeah, that's you guys. I mean, for whatever degree that you're dealing with it, there are places that are just handling it far worse.
Yeah, I mean, and I just don't understand. So in the United States during Biden's era, I think that's what they were pushing towards because they made it so that 12-year-olds needed permission from their parents in order to access their medical files. And all of us were like, no, we're not gonna keep going with that. And I think like they modeling after what's happening in these other countries and they were moving towards it. But if we had I feel like Trump has saved us in a lot of ways because I don't even know where we would be right now. Our children would be transitioning and all of the toxic ideologies would have been a reality and at such a higher level than it is now.
Why do you think this has come to the forefront? Like, why is this such a hot topic?
Hot topic, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, you got to consider that transgenders are 1% of the population in the US, but can you turn on your social media or the news any day and not hear something about it?
No, I think, so personally, my personal opinion is that, they pushed it so hard on children to try to be inclusive, and then a
Mm.
lot of kids saw that as a way to get attention.
Mhm.
So then it became more widespread because all these kids are like, "I can get attention this way, I'm gonna do this." And then, you got the non-binaries that actually just really want attention too. And then I'm wondering if it has something to do in the end with the pharmaceutical companies wanting to sell their drugs.
Well, I mean, if you start taking medication for anti-anxiety or depression, you're a customer for life, right? Same, I would suspect that when you're transitioning as a male going to a female, I suppose that you're going to be on hormone blockers and estrogen for the rest of your life. But to believe that pharmaceutical companies are that evil is that's very dark.
It is. It
And
is
I
dark.
hope we are above that. And I don't believe look at COVID
Yeah.
and the COVID shot. Everyone was so believing of the pharmaceutical companies. Like, why would they lie to you? Why? Oh, because they fucking want money.
Money, yeah, and that's what I think my opinion really changed, and, now when I think of things like, transgender hormones and the money that it's bringing in and looking at how much just prescriptions cost, and like, was it the pharmaceutical companies that are pushing this? Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a combination of the things, but you look at who is paying and putting money into these big left-wing politicians' pockets, and a lot of it is pharmaceutical companies.
So we have obviously free healthcare, right?
How's that going?
Yeah, how's that working out for you? Yeah, sure. If you want to wait 20 hours in fucking emergency, that's great. But so as someone, if you don't have insurance, right? How do you get medical treatment? You just go to the hospital and what
Yeah.
happens?
So in the United States, if you don't have health insurance, they aren't allowed to turn you away. So what a lot of people do is go in and give a fake social security number, or they will just get the bill and not pay it because I believe they can't take you to court over it anyways.
Okay.
I mean, it messes with your credit, which people like us would care about, but I mean, there's a lot of people that wouldn't. So they get a
Mhm.
lot of free healthcare that way. And I think that's how people cheat the system because everybody's like, healthcare is so expensive. It's not just one issue, it's like a lot of issues that are making
Mhm.
our healthcare.
Still better than what we have.
It has to be. Yeah.
And so if you have health insurance, do you get faster treatment or better treatment?
No.
Oh, shit.
I mean, if you have really good health insurance, you can go to a really good clinic. Like I have really good health insurance. I can go
Nice.
anywhere.
Yeah. But you get seen faster. So for us, I have private healthcare. Like I have
Yeah.
a membership with a doctor that I can call them up and like, bro, I need to fucking see you, and I'll be there the next day.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I like it.
So if I need to make an appointment, it's going to take me about 2 weeks.
Mm.
That's not terrible though. It's not like I'm 20 days or, whatever. A couple weeks is not terrible. I think if you live in a less populated area, it
Sure.
might not be so long.
Sure. So there isn't levels to healthcare for you?
I mean, there is, but there isn't like that. Like
Okay.
you can join those little clubs around here.
Oh, you
There-
can?
Yeah, and there is a couple. I can't remember what it's called, but then you pay into it, and then you can get seen. But I still feel like with the population of the area, it depends how long it's going to take you to get in.
Mm. Okay. How do you feel about Trump? How do you feel that he's running the country?
So that's like kind of a hard question because there has been a lot of things lately that I really do feel like we're moving in a good direction, but I've also been extremely disappointed at the
Mhm.
same time. I feel like a lot of people feel that.
Yeah, I concur. I think, listen, I like Trump, right? We
Yeah.
have a motherfucker for prime minister right now.
Yes,
And
you do. Yes, you do.
yeah, oh my God. One of the reasons that prompted me to leave, like, for example, they're trying to pass a bill called C9, right? And if the liberals get the majority power, they could just arbitrarily pass bills with no um, anyone trying to block them.
So like no checks and balances
No, none,
whatsoever.
right? Today I feel like this is going to happen, and then it happens, right? And you can't do shit. So there's a bill called C9. It's an anti-hate bill, and what that means is I will pass a bill called C9 that they call it anti-hate speech, but there is no defined criteria that what hate speech is.
Yeah, that's
So
very dangerous.
right. So if you say something about the liberal government, as the liberal government who is monitoring what we consider hate speech, you say something with the liberal government, I don't fucking like it. That's
Yeah.
hate speech to me. Right. So now you say that if I want to be nice to you, I can just forbid you from getting internet. I can take away your phone lines. If I want to like spank you a little bit, I'll fine you. And if I want to be a prick, I will put you in jail.
That is awful. That's like the UK.
Yeah, I said that to somebody else today and they said the exact same thing. That's exactly what happened.
It is. It's like the UK.
Yep. So there was a gentleman in Nova Scotia who said, and it was his own belief. He said, I don't believe that the Holocaust claimed as many lives as they're stating. He got 2 years in prison.
For thinking and asking,
Right.
it's like basically asking a question. He didn't say
Yeah.
there wasn't as many.
Yeah. He's like, I don't believe such and such. And they considered that hate speech and he did 2 years in prison.
That is absolutely like that's
How frightening is
dystopian.
that?
Like
Right.
that is insane.
Right. So you are quite vocal about the way you speak.
Yes.
I may consider that hate speech.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think for a while there, my videos were not allowed to be shown in the UK because I pissed off the UK so bad trying to go after them because
for
they
you.
were going for people's speech. And I'm
Yeah.
like, this is not right.
Right.
I feel like it's not just an American right. I feel like everybody in our world deserves the right to speak and not be held accountable. They are just words.
Right. So there's nuance to that.
There is. I mean,
Right.
you can't be threatening people, but
Right. See, but the knee jerk reaction is, well, isn't that speech? Like, is hate speech free speech? And I struggle with that dilemma because can there be criteria to this? But then if we have to attach criteria to it, now who defines that? So you say something like, I don't like those shoes, Bruce. Well, that, Claire, sounds like fucking hate speech to
Yeah.
me, right? So there's a lot of nuance and I don't know how I feel. Like, I personally agree with you. Words are words. We had a gentleman on yesterday, Joel Patrick, who used the N-word, right? Yeah. And we lost our shit. And he's like, they're just words, man.
yeah.
And he's black. So, and then he's like, would you be offended if I called you honky or crack or whatever? I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Right? So it is just words, but that would be considered hate speech.
That's absolutely yeah, well, and I feel like it's so subjective though, and especially if they're trying to pass that, because like you said, it matters who is saying it, like,
Right.
if they don't like the person, they want that person locked up because they want them say that they're fighting against whatever agenda they're pushing. It would be so easy for them to dig through and be
Absolutely.
like, "They said this."
Yes. Yeah. But, what fucking astounds me is you have all those people, those fucking white liberal bitches that are like, "Ah, kill ICE, kill ICE."
Yes.
How is that not fucking problem?
So after Charlie Kirk was taken, I feel like the way I handled it was going after liberals that were threatening people and getting them fired, which I
Good for you.
don't
Good for you.
because they were actually, and it became a point where people were going that didn't understand that we were only going for ones that were threatening people or saying just completely awful things, like celebrating and horrible
Yeah,
words.
I think you're an evil motherfucker.
Yes, those type of people were the ones that I was like, "Yes, let's go after it." But then people started going after everybody that was saying anything negative about him, and I'm like, "That's not how this works." Like, the ones that are actually threatening people, like, I feel like it can go too far on each side, any side.
Yeah, I know, but that's the slippery slope
It
though. Like,
is.
how do you define it so succinctly so that people know that's the line in the sand that way and that's the line in the sign in the sand that way? How do we stop? And I just don't know how we put conditions on that.
Yeah, and social media makes it hard. I feel like especially even in the United States, it's kinda like the Wild West. Like, we
Mhm.
have rules, but then we also have liberals that are on the internet saying that they wanna off all of us, and
Right.
that's okay.
Uh, right.
But
Right.
then we
I
get
don't
in
get it.
trouble, like, I'm like, "I don't
Hey,
understand."
buddy, say hi. Yell that shit.
Hi guys, how are you?
Hi.
I've just entered the room. Hello, Aaron.
So, what do you think happened with Charlie Kirk?
I don't believe exactly what we were told. I
Mm,
really don't.
okay.
I tried really hard to wait. I didn't comment on it because I wanted to see what came out.
Fair.
Um, I do wanna see what more comes out at the trial, but I just have a hard time I find it hard to believe that that young kid worked by himself.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, like, something else happened. I also am not the person that's like, "Candace Owens is right." Like, no, I think that there's more to it, and she's avoiding what really could have happened.
Okay, so now you've opened up so many fucking paths that we can go down. So let's go to you don't believe that Tyler Robinson did it. I fucking 100% for so many reasons. I've spoken to so many people that just logistically that could not have worked. But let's
Yeah.
dismiss all that. And then Ant and I have talked about this ad infinitum about, where's all the camera footage for the people that were behind him, right?
That's what I find odd. I've
That's odd too.
wondered where the camera footage is because everybody's recording every day, all the time.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes. So then where do we go with that? And then the fact that I recently found out that within 24 hours they had re-slabbed the concrete. Like that area was stripped down and just they put a whole new concrete flooring
Yeah,
on that. That's bizarre to me.
it is.
Okay. And then there's the fact that Erica Kirk, and then there's the whole conflict with Candace Owen. So how do you think Erica Kirk plays into this?
I don't think she does,
Really?
honestly. I really don't.
I think you and I talked about this.
Like, I mean, I do think that she puts off this image because she's a pageant woman that it just seems ingenuine. But if she does have anything to do with anything, the only thing I could see is if she knew what happened, but she can't say anything. I don't see her like being involved in it, if that makes sense. And I know people have differing opinions. Um, I do feel like she was just kind of caught blindsided by it all, but I would not be surprised if she didn't know now what happened, what really happened.
I certainly would agree that she must know something now.
Now, yeah.
But there's just so all I care about, like I don't identify particularly with the right or the left, nor do I identify with any particular religious doctrine. All I like is I have a spiritual code that I follow and I like to know the truth. I seek the truth. And that's all I want to know about this situation. It just seems that there's so many things that we don't know, and there's too many people content just to say, meh, whatever.
That's what I don't understand either. And I think that part of the problem is there are a lot of people that feel like asking any question is a good question when we need to be asking good questions about what happened and not just like taking things and throwing it at the wall and hoping it sticks. Because there are a lot of things that I have friends that have found that
Mm,
are sus with the university and the way that the UN was meeting in places like Utah, and that is very suspicious.
I didn't know
And
about that.
yeah, you should look into it. It's really, I'll have to send you some of the stuff, but also just some of the agendas that were going on there with the trans community and sending these they were sending them, I think it was Cuba, to go train. I'll have to send you. It's absolutely insane. So for people to like sit there and ask all the questions except for those, I'm like, why aren't you asking about that?
And why are we not allowed to ask questions?
Yeah, you can ask, and that's what I'm like. You can ask questions, but also I feel like they should be quality questions.
Sure. But I mean, to that degree, first of all, I believe the truth is bulletproof.
Yeah,
So if my truth can't survive you asking questions, it's not solid. It's
exactly.
not real. And secondly, you know, you may have a question to some may seem odd and retarded, but that's something you need to know, right?
Yeah.
And I don't feel that there's any question that shouldn't be asked. And people lost their fucking minds. To this day, I still get, you know, I have a reel with Ant that's at 6.7 million views. And I still get people saying, you know, I forget my husband's name from time to time. And all right.
Everybody has their own opinions. I feel like nobody really would understand what was happening in in that little bubble unless they were really just living it. You know what I mean? And we can look at the videos and play it back and things do seem suspicious.
Yeah.
I'll admit that. I'm like, things do seem off.
Right.
But I'm like, I also can't say that I was there. And I feel like a lot of people really have tried to put themselves in the situation rather than look at it from an outside in view. I think you do a good job of looking at it from an outside in view. But I think the people that are getting heated about it, I'm like, why? Like, just sit and think and, you know what I mean? Not like, about it.
Do you think we're ever going to know the truth?
No.
Yeah.
Do you?
No.
Absolutely not.
Which is infuriating.
It is. And it makes me, it was, I think it's going to be one of those moments. It's almost like 9/11. You know what I mean? Where you knew where you were when that happened. Everybody's going to know exactly where they were when Charlie Kirk was taken out.
What that whole display showed me is how cruel some people can be,
Yeah.
right? I can't think of any circumstance when someone on the left had been assassinated that the people on the right were going shit like this, right? Like there's that one teacher.
Yes.
Fuck her, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad she lost her job.
I
Fat
thought
bitch.
she got her job back recently.
No.
Yeah, the Chicago Union gave her job back. We worked so hard on that too, a bunch of creators. We made sure to get that as much coverage
Yeah,
as
I
possible.
saw that. Good for you.
Yeah, and that was like, it just really disappoints me that because that is like, do you want someone teaching your child that is promoting violence like that? Is that what we're doing?
Well, I mean, when you consider what teachers are allowing to happen now and how they are indoctrinating kids, it doesn't surprise me that the union bowed down and let Jabba the Hutt fucking back to her
Jabba
show.
the Hutt. She did look like Jabba
Oh
the
my
Hutt.
God, fuck her, man. That it's just the epitome of evil, right? If you didn't care for what he spoke, that's fine. That's your prerogative. But to celebrate the murder of someone else who left two children fatherless and her, whatever, I don't think she's all that upset. But I'm
The
gonna catch shit
babies,
for that.
though, the babies,
Yeah.
and like
What,
that.
have you heard the rumor that they're not his kids?
Yes.
Yes. Well, you know what, dude? I went down that rabbit hole and there is not one photo of her being pregnant. And
Really?
none, dude. I looked and she actually, somebody asked her about that. I believe Megyn Kelly asked her and her response was, I felt embarrassed being pregnant, so I didn't take any photos.
That's odd.
That's what you have children?
Yeah.
Do you have photos of you being pregnant?
Yeah.
Okay, fuck you then, right? Like that's some bullshit.
I mean, I don't know of a single, and she would have sonograms and stuff, even if
Mhm.
she didn't
Yep.
want to be
Yep.
filmed.
Right.
That's weird.
Right.
That I didn't even know that, but I'm
Yeah.
like, that's odd.
Yes. And it got so prevalent in social media that she had to address it. So she manufactured the excuse was, like I said, I was embarrassed being pregnant. I felt fat and ashamed. So I have no photos of me being pregnant.
But
You know,
she kind of films everything.
right. And we have caught her in lies.
Yeah.
There was the lies about how I never dated. Bitch, you're lying.
Yeah.
There's that guy you fucking dated. So I don't know.
She has been caught in a lot of lies. I will say that.
Yeah. So then now I start asking more and more questions.
I just don't think she's the mastermind of anything. It sounds awful, but
Have you looked at her background, her family history?
yeah, some of it. But I
Yeah.
still am like, I don't know.
I just think there are way too many red flags for me to just sit back and say, yeah, that sounds legit. Right?
None of it sounds legit though. Like anything that has to do with this case, and people get so mad at you because I'll be like, I don't believe everything that is being told to us, but that doesn't mean that I don't think some of it might be what's going on. But I want to see the case at least. And people are like, why would you want to? I want to know what they tell us. But you know what I mean?
Right.
Even if it ends up not being something I believe, I still
Sure.
want to know.
100%.
Yeah.
Right? Because then, at the very least, we'll know the truth, like it or not. But then if you're not willing to look at this to produce the truth for the public, well, now I don't trust anything you fucking tell me.
Yes.
Right?
And that will give me a good perspective of how my mind needs to change.
Right. So now take a look at Epstein.
Yeah.
Right? Those files are just fucking crazy to me.
Yeah, I've been digging through those. You know what's wild to me is there is a lot of conservatives that are saying that we should let it go.
Really?
Yes, that's the new thing. And I just cannot wrap my head around that. I'm like, did you not read any of it? Because I sit and read about the abuses that these children, women went through, and personally, it makes me want to. I don't care what side the person is on. I just think that we should find a way to get justice for. You know what I mean? Like, how do you not feel that?
I agree. To be honest, I think there's probably guilty people on both sides of the fence.
Yes.
Okay. And I do believe that if you harm a woman or a child, I don't give a fuck what your political standing is, you need to pay.
Exactly.
So the fact that, like, it really disturbed me when Trump said, are we still talking about that?
That's what parts I've been upset about.
Yeah, because you motherfucker, you fucking said that we're going to release the Epstein files. This is important. We need to discuss this. And now all of a sudden you're like, are we still talking about this? That was your platform.
Yeah. And then that's a lot of like what I've been kind of disappointed in is every time like Pam Bondi was like, what about the Dow? The Dow's up. And I'm like, you could have said anything. You just make it worse and worse.
Yes. I was discussing this with a guest yesterday. We believe that she's going to be the sacrificial lamb.
Yeah.
Right? The fact that someone's got to fall for this, that they have to have a scapegoat as to why this didn't achieve what the public wanted. Someone has to pay. And I think it's going to be her.
I think so too. I think a lot of people already feel that way though, so it wouldn't be too hard for them to put her out in front.
Yep. Well, that's the other dilemma that I face. You and I are discussing topics and details that are presented to us by the media. They are allowing us to see that.
Yeah.
Unless, I'm sure you get people saying, hey, I have a fucking friend, here's something you don't know. And so if we're privy to certain information, that's cool. But on the general, we take a look at what's presented in the media. That's controlled information.
Yeah, it is.
So for us to make an assessment and come to a conclusion on information that has been allowed for us to consume, I wonder, what am I eating, right? Like, I just wonder, you're giving me this, how true is it? Or do you want me to come to my own conclusion based on details that you're providing to me? So I question the legitimacy. Like, that's the problem now, man. I fucking question everything.
I question everything too. So, I'm on X a lot. And, people, I will post something that is borderline conspiracy, but it's conspiracy that we know,
Mm-hmm.
And they will be like, well, this is the official narrative. And that is not true what you said. And I'm like, why are you listening to the official narrative? And then I'm like, am I listening to something that, you know what I mean? Like, you start to question what you're listening to.
Sure.
But I'm like, why are you even listening to the mainstream narrative? But then, when it comes back to Pam Bondi, we're listening to the mainstream narrative because that's what they're putting out about her.
We're listening to what she is told to say.
Yes.
Right? So maybe that's also controlled. Like, you can really fuck yourself up.
You can if you sit and think about it. I was doing that last night, honestly, when I was talking to this person on X. I was like, whoa, they believe that narrative. And then I'm like, what do I believe?
Right. Right. And then, do you allow yourself to change your mind? Because in doing so, now you actually may have to question the legitimacy of being a Republican, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, you could really fuck yourself up. Do you think Epstein's alive?
Yes.
So do I.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
I don't think it's that crazy at all.
Not that he's alive, but the fact that look how we've been told all this time. Fucking Dan Bongino and Kash Patel. We saw the report there. He's dead.
Did you see his face, though, when he said that? Kash Patel's like...
Yeah. And, I used to like watching Dan Bongino. And again, like, he did work for the FBI. And so I saw that, he was with Cash, and they're like, yeah, it's hard to believe, but yeah, we saw him, and yeah, he's dead. He's dead. Yeah.
When they said that, I was like, they really did not just do that.
Right.
Like, that's another thing that I'm like, what is going on in this administration?
And why did he quit all of a sudden?
I think so. Do you remember you used to watch him? He said that if he got involved in this and he felt like things were corrupt or he couldn't agree with what was happening, the direction things were going in, he would quit. So that's why I was like, is that what happened? Are things getting a little bit not on the level you want it to be? Are they not going in the right direction?
Did he ever admit why? Did he ever discuss why he quit? Or has that ever?
No,
I don't think he released that.
He said that he wanted to spend more time with his family, but I feel like that's
Fuck off.
I feel like that's
bullshit.
Yeah. I feel like that's an excuse anybody would say because,
I mean, I guess that's the spin doctoring of the situation.
He seems a lot happier now, though.
Yeah, but now I question his authenticity.
I have a hard time watching him lately because I'm just like, what do you know? What do you know that made you quit your job? And because this was his dream, he wanted to go work and do this. And then he's like, never mind. I just want to go back to my podcast. Like, what happened? And do we trust you now?
Right. And he's obviously signed an NDA.
Yes.
He'll never be able to discuss what it is that he knows. So, yeah, but that to me is so crazy that if that motherfucker's still alive but with AI, you never know. So let's go down that rabbit hole. Let's suppose that those photos or the drone footage
From
is
Israel?
AI driven.
The Israel photos, you mean? Or
with him being in Israel,
Yes.
looking up. He's leaning against a car and he's looking up and you make the assumption that it's him, right? That could very easily be AI.
do you think it's AI?
I don't know. That's the problem. It could be, maybe
So
not.
I've seen several angles now because there was a couple more that were released, and
Where's that footage coming from?
I have no idea. That's what I was about to get to. Where is it coming from?
Right.
And to me, it doesn't look AI because he has all his fingers and
No, dude, some of the shit you can do with AI is insane.
That's true. That is true.
And that's AI you and I are playing around with. What do you think those motherfuckers are playing with?
That's the other thing. And if it's coming out of a narrative coming out of that area or our government, I'm like, they have really good AI, I'm assuming.
And if you go down that hole, then, okay, so maybe it's fake. Let's presume that it's fake. Why do they want to give that to us? Why do they want us to come to the conclusion that it's fake? Like, why are they directing us down that road?
I wonder too.
Right.
And there was somebody made a post. There was a purchase from one of his cards that was linked to a FedEx account that was still open under his name within a couple months ago too. But I'm like, that could have just been because it's for one of his aircrafts that needs maintenance. But the estate.
But why are his cards still active?
And why was that information released recently?
Right.
That kind of says that they want us to move in that
They want us to
direction.
start questioning it. So then in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, if he is truly alive or not, why do they want me to believe that he is? Why would they release the fact that he bought something on his credit card?
Yeah.
Because theoretically, once you kick the bucket, your shit should be closed down.
That's what I thought.
Right. So then you could just drive yourself mad. Okay, well, then he's alive. Like, you could just fuck yourself up.
And did you see the pictures of Ghislaine Maxwell?
Yes, I just saw that coming in here.
Yeah.
The plastic surgery, the fact that she looks different.
She looks completely different.
Yeah. Right.
And it's things that you would her nose is wider. And I know people were trying to say in the comments, she probably went through menopause. And I'm like, she was 60 when she went in. I'm pretty sure she already had that handled.
I saw someone say, well, the food in prison is very salty, so maybe she's puffy.
It's the salt that made her chin shape change.
Yes.
But maybe they're both just running off into the sunset.
Okay, so why were those photos released?
That's a good question.
Right.
And why would they want us to ask those questions?
Right. So every time I start to question these things, I think, okay, what is the ulterior motive here? What would be the direction or the conclusion that they want me to come to? And then what is the benefit of that? Or, because you get so many motherfuckers say, they're distraction. It's a distraction. Bitch, I can fucking look at this and still think about this.
That's
okay?
what
I'm not a goldfish.
I hate when people say that because it's, what it is that they just don't care about what you're talking about. So they're like, that's a distraction. No, you just don't care.
Right. Or you're too stupid to fucking debate it with me.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, I know. But yeah, I think that whole distraction argument is futile.
It's like a cop out.
It is.
I'm like, okay.
You're just too fucking retarded to come up with a good enough argument.
It's true though.
So going back to the Minnesota, I mean, the Nicole Good, in my mind, that was justified.
It was very justified.
For sure.
Yeah.
She was a bitch.
Yeah.
The Alex Pretti one, I've spoken to a number of police officers. That one is up in the air. And there was recent information, I believe, that came out yesterday. So he had a SIG on him, right? And to my understanding, and I've spoken to even police officers that I train with, their feeling is that when one of the police officers disarmed the gun, they removed it from the holster, that in the process of moving, the gun discharged, right? Because apparently SIGs are known for false fires.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I would presume that the other police officers, hearing that, heard a gun go off and they unloaded. And then the argument from people is, well, why do they shoot him so many times? I'm like, you're not a fucking police officer, so you don't know that when they drop someone, they drop him so he stays down.
Yes.
Okay, shut the fuck up then, okay?
Yeah.
But the argument is, you know what? What's your thoughts on it?
My thoughts, when it first happened, I was like, I just knew it was going to be justified, which is probably bias, but
Yep.
I don't see them going out and just taking people out for no reason.
Mhm.
I do think that it
What
was.
about all illegals should be allowed in this, like in our land? The land is stolen anyway.
Yeah, no,
Right?
no,
Yeah.
they should all
Fucking
be.
Billie
they
Eilish.
should
Fuck
all
you,
be-
Billie.
Yes, fuck you, Billie Eilish. I do think it was poor communication
Mhm.
between the ICE officers and was it police or ICE
It
officers?
was ICE.
Okay, yeah. So I think it was just a case of poor communication, but he shouldn't have been in that position in the first place.
Thank you.
And he shouldn't have had a gun on him
Thank
down
you.
protesting like that.
He had no license on him. He
Yes.
didn't have his carry permit on him. So therefore, it was illegal for him to carry that firearm. Okay.
Yes.
So all you dumb motherfuckers out there that don't have your carry permit, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Right? He didn't have his carry. You have your carry, obviously, since you're packing a fucking gun. You have to go and announce the fact that you have a firearm if you go into an environment that is hostile and there's police officers on the scene.
Yes.
You have to advise them that I am carrying a firearm. He didn't do that either. He didn't identify himself, right? He had just 10 days prior started shit. He was an asshole, right?
Yeah,
you know,
he got his rib broke by federal agents.
yeah, you know what? So, I've had a rib broken. It sucks.
Yeah.
You can't breathe. It's painful to move. So I doubt that he had a rib broken because
he probably didn't because
Yeah.
he was up there fighting with him again.
right. So you a week prior got fucked up a little bit, and now you go back, same kind of hostile environment, carrying a weapon. What was your goal?
To antagonize and to cause problems
Okay.
and potentially hurt somebody.
Right. So why are not you, Claire, you as an individual, why are you going to start shit?
Because that's what they do.
Right.
And I think that when it came down to it, he was in some of those signal chats, wasn't he?
He absolutely was.
Yes.
Right?
So him and Renee Good. So they intentionally were going there to cause problems.
Right. So another question I will propose to you. Why was there no police in the area?
Because the local police wouldn't assist ICE. So, but that makes sense so I have a theory that since we know that some of the people working in the government were involved in the signal chat.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. You didn't know that?
No.
I will not give because I can't remember exactly who, but people like aides working for government officials, people that worked on their campaigns, things like that. But I have a theory, since they had access to plate readers and all of those they were reading people's plates. You didn't know that either?
No.
Yeah. So who's to say that they didn't have somebody that could tell where the cops were going to be
Well, I heard that Tim forbade
Oh, he
police
did. Yeah, that too.
Okay, so that's why things went sideways. You
It
have
is.
motherfuckers that are, antagonizing ICE. Under normal circumstances, the police should have been the ones to deal with that, right? ICE is there to do their job. And it just seems like a concentrated effort to make ICE look bad or to disrupt. So,
It was to make ICE look bad.
the guy
Yeah.
who shot Alex just got off, right?
Yes,
he
he
wasn't
did.
charged.
Yes. Thank
Good.
God, because I mean, I cannot imagine being an ICE agent and having these people go psycho on you while you're just trying to get your job done. And it's already dangerous enough to begin with because some of the people they're hunting are like crazed criminals,
Mhm.
dangerous. And then they got all these people trying to protect pedophiles.
Right,
Like,
right. right? And no one can speak to being in a hostile environment like that, how you're going to react.
Yes, that's
Yes, they're
yes.
trained. Yes, but you just don't know what it's going to be like when you're in that kind of environment.
It's like the guy that shot Renee Good had just been dragged by a car.
Do you believe she hit him?
Yeah, I think so. Well, no, I think she hit him twice almost, didn't she?
Well,
Ran over his foot and hit him from the front, and then
Yes. So he did have internal damage, right? He
Yes.
did go to the hospital. I think she definitely hit him,
I do too.
right?
I just think she did it twice. Everybody's like, I'm like, I think she ran over him twice.
Right.
It was justified.
As far as I'm concerned, it was.
Yeah, even the first time I saw it, I was like, she hit him. Like,
Mhm.
why are we even debating this?
Right.
Did you see in DC, like last weekend, they did an exhibit of Renee Good? They went out there and did like interpretive dance for Renee Good.
Oh, I would love to see that because I
It's-
could just imagine all the lesbians in fucking lumberjack
That's what it
fucking
looked
outfits.
like, yeah.
Oh my God. That would be too funny.
Yeah, and I'm like, you're like, these are criminals. They're
Yeah.
criminals that are protecting other criminals.
That's hilarious. Oh
Like-
my God. Can you imagine
No, it was really bad. But that's
It'd
how
be like
liberals
just-
are.
a very horrible gaze on ice
Gays on ice.
wearing the lumberjack?
And
Like
she-
her, why have we not seen her wife's camera footage on the camera?
Exactly.
Right.
Or anybody else that was around. Because
Right.
there was that whole group of people that were standing around.
Sure.
The doctor that they said they refused to let the doctor run in. How do you know if it was a doctor or it was just somebody standing around filming? But why don't we have any of that footage?
Right. And here's another problem I have. And we see this all across, globally, actually. So one person decides to haul off another person and beat the shit out of
Yes.
someone. Someone who's probably weaker. I mean, because most bullies, they do that. They prey on weaker people. But this motherfucker, he's like, oh, I gotta watch that. Why don't you fucking help?
Yeah.
Why don't people help anymore?
They don't.
That's so disturbing to me.
It is very disturbing. It's like you'll see that subway thing where the guy lit the lady on fire and everybody's just standing around filming.
Yes.
I'm like, what is wrong?
Go pee on her. At least do something, man.
Yes.
Film on your camera. Oh, man, we have lost our soul.
I feel like a lot of people, even in our community, would be, it only takes one. It takes one person to start helping because everybody else will help if one person does.
I agree.
And I feel like we really need to normalize that because what are we doing as a society if we're going to let a woman burn on a train and we're going to film it? Like, what?
How crazy is that we are more concerned with getting something on the internet for likes than helping another human?
Oh, it's disgusting.
It is. It is very demoralizing for me. I have lost faith in humanity to such a degree over certain things. And to me, it started with COVID.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed in people's willingness to bend the knee.
It's ridiculous. That and also like their willingness to turn on their neighbors and their family
Do you believe
members.
that? Yeah.
It's insane. Were they arresting people up there for being out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a way worse than you guys, dude. We obviously the mask, the fact that there were stickers on the floor directing us how to walk.
The stickers are going to save your life.
That's right. And the wearing the mask and just people refuse to look at any kind of logic about it. And I'm like, oh, you motherfuckers are so stupid. And we were just so willing just to believe everything the government said. And that's when I guess I took the red pill. It's the red pill, right?
Red pill.
Red pill?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when I started taking it. And then I just started looking at everything.
Yeah. So mine really, I was on the Democratic side all when I was younger.
Really?
Yeah. And then Obama changed it all for me
So why?
because I started to notice the media was lying to us about like he would. For example, Trump, when he was running the first time, they came out and said that he was making fun of a disabled person. And I remember watching that live and I'm like, he didn't though.
Right.
That's not what happened. And then I was like, whoa. And then I started looking into Obama because he was causing all this division.
100. Do you know he's deported more illegals than Trump ever did?
Yeah. And there was like 50 some that died under
Oh, that I didn't
in
know.
ICE facilities underneath Obama. Yet they want to sit there and talk about Trump that 2 Americans have gotten in the way of fire because
Nothing is going to run smoothly. Like I did hear of one individual, I forget his name because someone fucking was bitching to me about, well, what about this guy? So like out of all the motherfuckers that have been deported, all the illegals, you're going to come to me with one guy who died in custody.
Yes, there was. I think he had a medical condition.
He
though, right?
did.
Yeah.
He did. So again, if we are trying to get to the truth, why are you convoluting things with lies? You're either doing it on purpose or you're dumb. And if you're dumb, you should at least know you're dumb and try and educate yourself with the facts so you can at least present an argument that makes sense.
They just repeating what's told to them because the media told everybody we should care about this one illegal that's died. That guy, I believe he was a pedophile.
Oh, I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
just heard that he did have a condition.
Yeah, and I believe that was the guy that was a pedophile. So
Okay, well, you know what? No loss there.
It wasn't the worst thing. They're defending people like that because the media is making it out like Trump is this awful person and they're in
But he was on the Epstein list 33 times.
they are.
Right? What really fucking tweaked my ass is that Whoopi and her little crew of menopausal harpies were like, you know, Trump is on the Epstein list. Trump is on the Epstein list. He's a pedophile. And then you get all these fuckers online. Trump's a pedophile. My
I'm so
fucking
sick of it.
brother-in-law, the little wimp that he is. When I told him I have an invite potentially to go to Mar-a-Lago, and he's like, enjoy the orange skin pedophile. I'm like, you little fuck, right? And then I had to try and educate him. But I find that some people just don't want to know the truth.
They don't want to know the
right?
truth.
I want to hear what I'm saying coming out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Right? So anyway, back to Whoopi. Fucking Jabba. She's like, Trump's a pedophile. He's on the Epstein list. But then 2 days ago, she was announced being on the Epstein list. And she's
great.
like, well, just because you're on the list doesn't make you a pedophile, doesn't mean you did anything wrong. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Right?
So is that the pot or the kettle?
Exactly. Right? So what, so rules for thee and not for me bullshit?
That is the whole, I feel like that is Democrats in a nutshell. If you just had to make one sentence that described them, it's rules for thee, or rules for me, not for thee, because they believe that they can just do whatever. Her name's on the list, but it doesn't matter because Trump.
Right. Yeah. But how do you think we have attained such a divisive mindset? Right. It doesn't seem like there's any common ground. And I think theoretically we can pick a topic and agree to certain truth.
Yeah.
Attacking children, hurting people weaker than us, attacking women. That should be universally accepted as that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay. But why can we not come to any kind of agreement?
I don't know. I wish I knew the answer to that. Why do you think it is?
I don't know, man.
I think people have lost their minds. I think that people are so full of fear that they believe anything can be justified under certain circumstances. So they're always trying to what if this happened? Or what if that happened? And then is it justified? And I'm like, what are we talking about? Right is right and wrong is wrong. There shouldn't be a reason for wrong things.
Right. And we don't seem to celebrate any of the good things that the other side is doing.
Yeah, that's true.
And I had a gentleman, speak to me once, and he was like, he doesn't believe that this is about left and right anymore. He truly believes that it's about good versus evil.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we are defining it that way, that means that there are good people and there are evil people. That means there's a good side and there's an evil side. How can people, like I've heard many rumors about how Hollywood is run by a bunch of satanic pedophiles. Okay, so if that is indeed the case, you're an actress and you're involved in that industry, that means you know the truth. If that is the truth, why have you not done anything?
I think when it comes to people like that, if that is true, allegedly, then the ones in charge of Hollywood and all of the police department, it would have to go so deep
Right.
that if you ran to tell somebody, they're going to either put you in a mental asylum or off you, which seems to kind of track because any celebrity that comes out saying that, suddenly they're insane. They're crazy.
Right. So I think when you take a step back, I think you're able to see things much clearer. Like for myself, if I have a problem, I try to be unemotional about it. I take a step back and I'm like, okay, let's look at the details of this and come to an honest, unemotional conclusion. Now, what you just said, if this truly went as so deep as it does, that anyone who comes out trying to speak is either silenced by blacklisting them, like Mel Gibson, or
Yes.
they are removed off the table. And there is a number of celebrities who come to tragic endings that were on the precipice of releasing information to the public.
Yep.
Okay, so now if that's true, does that not ring any fucking alarms for people?
It should.
You
We
think.
have been trying to call this out since like COVID. When we were all locked in our houses, we were like, you guys got to know what is really going on in Hollywood and all this. And, we were the crazy ones. Now it's starting to come out. But what do? Something needs to be done. And it's not a left or a right issue. This is a problem, though. And I don't know how we fix it. And I know people keep saying we can't vote our way out of it. We really can't.
No, because if it is truly that corrupt, if they're that evil, then I don't even think the politicians that we are dealing with are truly the powers that be,
Yeah.
right? I've heard, so everybody arbitrarily throws around the names Rockefeller, the Vanderbilts, the Rothschilds, but I've spoken to people that think that, well, those names,
Yes.
right? So the people that are truly running the show, you don't know their names.
That's what I think, too.
Okay, so how fucking deep does that go?
It goes really deep, I
right?
think.
And so how insignificant are we? Like we don't know anything. We are merely peons in this play where the plebes that go about our day-to-day operations with no actual cognizance of what's happening.
Yeah,
That fucks you up.
it does. It really does. And I just don't know how we fix it ever.
Right.
And like you said, I think that this goes so deep that there are people running this. We have no idea who they are, but they also have systems of, farming and making their own children that never will be identified, women that will never be identified. So how do you ever prove any of this ever happened if they're
Right.
all ghosts?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. And when you accept that in your mind, you're like, okay, well, maybe I need to accept the fact that I can't do anything and just live my life and try and be happy and try and do good for others.
Yeah.
Maybe if we look at things in a simplistic viewpoint like that, then maybe that's enough.
Yeah. I think it's enough in your personal life, but I just like to talk a lot. So I'll just keep talking about it online. Everybody will know what's going on.
But don't you think that we owe it to people to try and enlighten them?
Yes, I do. That's why I keep talking about
Right.
it.
I am sure you've had many people in your feed say, well, what are you going to do about it? Everything is so bad, but what can we do?
I think the more knowledge we have, eventually, my hope is, we're never going to take this all down. And I realize that. But my hope is that any of them that have been exposed, why not make an example out of them, try to figure it out? And they just arrested Prince Andrew for
I was just about to bring that up.
yeah, for what is it? What did they arrest him for though? It was like sharing confidential information.
He was sharing
So-
information with Epstein.
That's what I think we should go after these people in the Epstein list, because we can't prosecute them. We don't have bodies. We don't have people that will testify against them. What we can go after them for is sharing confidential information with somebody that wasn't in the government. Then get a warrant, go through all their stuff, see what kind of weirdos they are, and then you got proof. Bam, put it in prison.
That's, again, what I don't understand. To me, I think we were at the point where, okay, we have the list. There's a number of people on that list. I believe there was over 3 million pages released. Why was it redacted?
Yes.
Who did that? Okay. What am I not allowed to see? And in saying that, okay, there's shit you don't want me to see. You saw it. Why aren't you doing anything about that?
Yeah.
This list that you put down, are you investigating any of these people? And if you're not, why? And if you are, what's happening? And this thing with Prince Andrew.
So they really let him out.
So there's been a number of people that, since the Epstein list has been released, have stepped down from their positions of
Yes.
power. Okay, so I run a company. If I know that this motherfucker did something bad, I'm going to be, Aaron, you need to step down so I can separate myself from the storm that is inevitably coming. Do you think anybody is going to go down for this?
I do think if it is going to be anybody, it's going to be somebody that like they absolutely do not care about, that is useless to them.
I agree.
Yeah.
Again, there's going to be a sacrificial lamb that they're like, well, we arrested Prince Andrew there. We're trying to do something.
Yes.
I think it's going to be something to that degree.
Yeah, or it'll be some like talk show host. I don't know. It'll be somebody
Go
that
after Ellen. Get that bitch.
that would be amazing.
Oh, yes.
Did you see she's trying to move back to the United States?
She bought a fucking mansion in Montecito, California.
On stolen land.
Yeah.
On stolen land.
Yeah. Fuck you, Billy. Yeah, I heard that because something was going. She bought something in the UK, or was it?
In the UK, yeah.
Yeah, and then there was a flood or something,
So
and
what?
that's
What?
God punishing you, bitch.
Yes, and she moved somewhere else that has mudslides and floods.
Yeah.
Montecito.
Did you hear in the Epstein files that apparently Ellen is probably the most prolific eater of children's flesh?
I'm not surprised.
Well, that's insane to me.
Yeah.
Like, even if that rumor is circulating, like, I do not believe that there is no truth to any rumor,
Yeah.
right? There has to be an inkling of truth to at least substantiate it to a degree where some people can say, okay, that makes a little bit of sense. Maybe I'm going to go down that road. So if that is indeed the case, well, I did hear that she's a fucking bitch.
Yeah, she is. And I've heard, she's terrible to her guests and anybody that works for her.
Yes. So we do know that she's evil
Yeah.
to a certain degree. To treat people with disdain because you feel that you're superior, in my mind, you're a bully.
I do not like that at all. That is the worst kind of person. But I do think she took advantage of her position. I do find it odd that her DJ the circumstances around his death were very odd. Twitch, did you hear? Yeah.
No, I didn't hear this. What is this?
It was so weird. He just went missing for a while and then they found him in a hotel room.
Convenient.
Yes. And he was very excited about a bunch of things in his life. So it just didn't make any sense.
Well, look at Obama and his husband.
His husband, Big Mike.
Yes. Well, this is not getting aired. How I think one of the personal the chef,
yeah, the
was
chef.
found drowned, or he was drowned.
It was drowned in like a foot of water.
Yeah. And he was a good swimmer, I heard too. Well, and now some people are going to say, well, it is possible for you to drown in a foot of water.
It is possible, but
but not
how?
likely. Right. Enjoy the
talk
last
about-
show, people.
If you talk about the Obamas or the Clintons, they get a little cranky.
So obviously you've heard Bill was on that list like all the time.
And
I think 66 times or something.
Yeah, and the pictures. Have you seen the paintings?
I saw that picture. Did you see the
Yes.
picture where it's clearly him and that left-leaning media was saying that looks like Trump?
Oh, yeah. I had a post go viral because I put up a bunch of photos of me talking and I'm like, does this look like Trump? And I put up all these photos of Clinton from a side angle. And everybody was like, oh, that's Bill. And I'm like, well, yeah, no crap.
There is anyone who thought that photo resembled Trump at all, you're as smart as a box of rocks.
They got that TDS. That rules their life.
Yeah, I struggle with that kind of blind allegiance to a faction. Like, I wonder if people are really that fucked up, right? Or is it bots? Is it trolls?
I think it's all of the above, actually.
Okay, so
Yeah.
if that's the case, why are they doing that? Why are their bots saying that kind of shit? Are we merely is it merely something as simple as social media wants us to stay on their platform for as long as possible for whatever reason? Is this simply about money? Is this about power? Like, what are we trying to do here?
So anytime I'll give an example. Say I hit on a subject that is very, very close to the truth.
Mhm.
I will start being bogged by bots. And it's almost like a way for them, I feel, to control the narrative. They don't want us talking about that. That's not what they want to push out because the mainstream media is pushing out whatever the leftist is talking about. And then we go against it and debunk it. And then all of a sudden there's bots. And I'm like, it's almost like a way to
So
push
why
it.
is that happening?
I think that they are really good. The left is really, really good at pushing out a message.
Do you not think that either political party should be serving the people?
Do I think that both of them shouldn't be, or?
Do you think that the role of the government should be to serve the people?
Yes.
Okay. As do I. Now, how did we stray so far from that ideology?
I think they have gotten a little power hungry and they are making entirely too much money off of side quests, which makes them very greedy and feel like they are very powerful. And that is a problem.
So you think it's about money and power?
Yeah.
Isn't everything?
Yeah. That's how the world is, unfortunately. ChatGPT told me that it was a Democrat. If you ask it, you have to ask it specifically to answer yes or no.
I did find that ChatGPT is extremely cagey now about certain conversations because, for example, the shooting that happened at the hockey arena, right? Roberto, I forget his last name, Durango or something at this point. I'm like, was he a transgender? And it just got really sketchy on me. And I'm like, he admitted to being a transvestite and a transgender. So why
Why
are
is
we
this taboo?
right? I do not think we are being allowed to see the truth. I think we are being fed a narrative. And I think it also depends on where you sit on that fence because your feed being conservative and my feed being conservative is extremely directed. We live in an echo chamber
Yeah,
because do you have any Democratic friends?
they would never. See, that's the thing. I would be friends with people that are on the Democratic side.
Really?
Yeah, I could.
I can't.
I mean, they can't be like insane liberals, but straight up Democrats, I could still have a relationship as long as they weren't coming at me all the time.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
But they will not be friends with me. So
Right. So does that not say something?
yeah, it says a lot.
Right.
They don't want to hear the truth.
Right. Or that they are so incensed by your political beliefs that they hate you.
Yeah,
That's, again, bizarre to me.
it is insane. Like they want harm to come to us.
I know.
Yeah.
How fucking crazy is that?
I mean, I get death threats and I'm like, why are you so crazy? I because you don't like the words I said, you want me to die? Like,
yeah. And I find that reprehensible. Kayla said the same thing. There's been a number of female guests that I've had that have told me that they get death threats. They get like just really horrific shit sent to them. At what level do we lower ourselves to where I'm going to attack a woman or her kids? I can't fathom that kind of mentality.
you know,
Like you said something I don't like. Again, you don't like my shoes. Well, and we go to the level of such depravity. I do not understand how people operate to that level.
I don't understand either. I will never understand that. I don't like to get people doxxed. I don't like when other people threaten somebody on behalf of me, say I'm getting attacked in my comments. I don't want someone else to go in there and be like, I'm going to kill you.
Really?
Like,
I love that.
do you?
I'm a petty bitch that way.
Well, they can do other things, but I like when they share pictures of them that are embarrassing. That's hilarious. But
For example, there was a circumstance that happened recently in Sudbury, and there was a gentleman, and he was caught on video, like kicked a puppy, like just brutally kicked a puppy. And so I looked into it and I found out his name and I found out where he lived. And
good for you.
yeah, so because it was information circulating, I just took it. I'm like, well, they didn't want me to announce his name, and they certainly wouldn't allow me to announce where he lived. So I was like, because of Meta TOS, I'm not allowed to tell you where he lives, but it is available should you want to find where he lives. But here's my problem. Somebody saw and videotaped him kicking the dog, and that's all they did with that. Why wouldn't you go there and have words with that gentleman?
They didn't do anything?
No, man. No. Not only that, the Sudbury police were inundated with calls to the fact that they had to make an announcement, do not call us about this matter, right? The fuckface hid the dog so the dog couldn't be repossessed. So now you're just being malicious.
That is awful.
Right. So finally.
So, I mean, if he got doxxed, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
What happens, happens.
I'm a vengeful motherfucker.
Especially when it comes to an animal like that. See,
Yes.
in the state of Florida, if you do that, you can go to jail here.
And I don't think that's enough.
I don't think it's enough either. And they tried to make it so you can't get another pet if you're convicted of it. But how would they know if you got another pet? Are they
Absolutely.
going to do
And I don't think that's enough either.
No.
I think there are penalties that should exist. If you cross that line, I do not think you're worthy of staying at the dance anymore. I think
Yeah.
you're just a very, very bad guest and you need to leave permanently.
And if you're going to hurt an innocent animal, you're definitely going to hurt somebody else.
Sure, it scales up. It definitely escalates.
Yeah.
That's clinically proven. that most psychopaths start with hurting animals and then it escalates to people.
Yeah.
Right. And to me, like, I'm a huge animal lover. And I think if you hurt an animal, I have no problem thinking that you should be removed from the party.
Yeah. I would defend my animals with my firearms. So my dog's apps 150 million%. Come to my
Yeah,
door and
as
do
you should.
something, and you're gonna find out.
And I think that is only just and proper.
Yeah.
Don't hurt people, animals, people that weaker than you.
Yeah.
That's a bully mentality. And I that's the quickest way to get me to anger.
I think that's a good way to be, though. I think more people should be like that and stop giving into the people that would actually harm. So, like the man that did that, why would you protect him and not want his address shared on the internet? You know what I mean?
Because, and I recently learned the definition of that word, doxing. I didn't know
Yeah.
what it meant. Right. And there was a gentleman that we had on the show, Bernadette, that he's a staunch conservative, and somebody didn't like what he said. So he started up his own page. The avatar was Bernadette's house, and the name of his account was the address. Right. And then he started sending photos to Bernadette, I believe, of his daughter. Was that what happened?
Yep.
Can you believe that shit?
That is horrifying.
Right. And in Canada, the laws are so strict about self-defense that you're basically prey for these pieces of shit.
That is disgusting.
That's why I dig Florida.
Yeah.
Like, you guys have your shit pat down here.
Oh, yeah. Like if somebody's coming right now, we could just take care of it.
Yeah,
We
right.
don't-
That's amazing.
We don't have to worry about it. And, back in Illinois, where I came before from Illinois, if you shoot somebody that is attacking you, you still go to jail.
Yeah.
Like, you still have to go to trial and all
Yep.
that. Here, though, the cops will be like, meh,
Yeah.
you're good.
Right.
Less paperwork. Go home.
I think we need to get back to old school Western justice.
Yeah,
Right. So why did you leave Illinois?
because it was horrible.
Why?
It was very democratic. The policies were terrible. So the Chicago, good example, Chicago Bears are about to leave Illinois because of how unsafe it is and how high the taxes are.
Mhm.
And nobody's wanting to go to games because of this stuff. So our taxes were absolutely ridiculous. Our
I
gas
think I
prices,
can beat you.
You
What was-
probably can.
What was the Illinois tax?
Oh, I can't even remember now.
How
But it
long
was
you
a
been
lot.
here?
It's been a year.
You've been here a year and you can't remember what you paid in taxes in Illinois.
I didn't pay him. My husband did.
Get
So
your
that is
husband on the phone.
explaining. I think it ended up being like 40%
We
of
pay
everything.
54.
Yeah.
I pay 54.
How do you afford to live?
You got to make a lot of money.
It's insane.
And so I sympathize with people. So, for example, in Canada, the medium salary is $59,700.
So half of that's gone.
No. At that level, you're only paying about 24% tax. But okay, so out of that 60, you're making, math guy, 60, 30, 40, let's say 45 grand.
45.
To rent or have a house in Canada is ridiculous, right? Like, in driving around looking for houses here in Florida, you guys can get great property. All these motherfuckers have pools. No matter
Yeah.
the size of the house, you got a pool.
Yeah.
You can have a small house, fucking pool in the backyard, right? But in Canada, you'll get renting, let's say a 900 square foot apartment. It's going to cost you $1,600 a month.
Really?
Right.
In
Yep.
Canada?
Yep.
You can get a whole house here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah, it is. And food is very expensive.
Oh, I've seen videos where people are showing like milk and stuff, and I'm
Yep.
like, that is, and gas prices.
Yep.
I don't understand how like a single mom.
You're
is to
fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get an OnlyFans account.
You got to sell your feet.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I sympathize with people struggling. We have veterans in Canada that can't get medication because they can't afford it. You have elderly that can't afford to put heat on.
That was
Yeah.
what was going on in the UK that I was trying to expose last year too, is that they couldn't afford their heat and they took away their pensions.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on in these countries? They
Right.
act like their policies are so successful. If that's the case, then why isn't everybody thriving instead of struggling?
Do you know what universal basic income is?
No.
So are they not trying to do that in the States? UBI?
So like socialism.
Yes,
Okay.
100%. Right. What do you think about DEI?
It's a joke. It's I think that is a way to say that there are people that can't do it on their own, so we need to help them because they can't accomplish anything on their own.
Agreed.
So they need a foot. I'm like, that is so racist to me to act like they don't, because then in the end, they're not going to strive to do better because they can just get a job.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Do you think men and women are equal?
No, I don't. And I used to think that. Nowadays, seeing the crazed liberal women, seeing women in power, I almost am like, take away my right to vote if these ladies can just sit down and stop talking. I do think that men have a different purpose than women.
Agreed.
I think that men are meant to be the leaders. I think that women are too emotional for these roles in government. And I never would have said that like 2 years ago.
Okay, so that's awesome because my fiance says the same shit. But why did you think prior that that was the case, that you thought we were equal?
Because I really...
How long you been married?
14 years.
Another Erica Kirk here. How long you been married, Erica?
We got married twice because we got married in Mexico and then we got married back in the States.
Nice.
So then I get confused about the date on that one. So that's my reason for that.
Fair enough. I'll give that to you. Okay, so you've been married a long fucking time.
Yeah.
Did you think women were superior? You know, I actually have spoken to women that think women are superior to
No,
men.
I never thought women were superior. I thought women who were on the same level could have equal, parts of a relationship. But like when it comes down to it, a woman is meant to raise children and take care of the
you're
house.
going to get such heat for
I know.
this.
And
I love it.
I mean, now as my children are older, I speak out. I use my voice. I have a platform. But I do think there's a place and a time, and I don't see myself going and working in government because I do think that women are too emotional. That's terrible, but I do.
So you don't feel that a woman should be president?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, well, I'll help you out. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't think women and men are equal. I think there are times when women are superior to men.
Yeah.
And I believe there are times when men are superior to women. And I think in that exchange, that's where the balance exists.
I do too. I think there are so many things that women are amazing at and men can't do those things, like multitasking. A lot of men can't do that. Different roles I can't even think of a good example, but there are where women are far superior. But I think when it
making
comes...
sandwiches.
Yeah, making
That's
sandwiches.
A joke. It's a fucking joke. It's a joke.
But like, think of it. If we had a female president, how would they go to Iran and talk to world leaders? How would they
100%.
There's
100%.
no way.
And if you pose that question on the internet, you will get attacked.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because people refuse to believe that there is a misogynistic mindset in the Middle East that exists. And it does.
It does. And I mean, is she supposed to wear a head covering? The leader of the free world she's supposed to cover her head.
Wear a hijab.
Yeah, in order to appease the leaders of a foreign country. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Agreed. And I think, unfortunately, there would be a level of disrespect that would exist.
Yeah.
And so what happens in any kind of altercation of power, in order to achieve respect, it either has to be given or it has to be taken.
Yeah.
Now, you're obviously going into a situation where she is not being respected. So now she's going to have to do something, a flex of power, to achieve that. How do you do that? Can you imagine AOC as a fucking president?
Oh my gosh, it would be awful.
That chick is so vapid.
It would be terrible. I think she may be like the dumbest. Her and Kamala would be perfect together.
Oh, I'd have to move again. Yeah. I'm just buying a house here now, and I'd have to fucking leave.
Oh, it'd be terrible. And I don't see them being able to actually, I feel like they would virtue signal their way through the presidency. And they would just give in to what any foreign country wanted in order to appease them, to make it seem like there's a healthy relationship. But in the end, they're just like being walked all over.
Yeah. What do you think is going to happen in the midterms coming up in November?
I think that we really need the Republicans to win because the alternative is the Democrats winning and they're evil. But I am scared for a lot of places.
No, dude, I've had a number of people say the same thing to me. And that is rather concerning. The very fact that people that believe so much in the conservative values are questioning the fact that they may lose the House and the Senate.
Yeah, and we are screwed if we do. I think the filibuster If we took care of that before then, I wouldn't be angry. If we got rid of it, just nuke it, I wouldn't be angry about it.
Explain the filibuster for people.
So, they need a certain amount from each side of the aisle to vote. But Democrats have said for years that when they get back in power, they eventually are going to get rid of it because they don't want to have to rely on Republican votes along with the Democrats. The reason we're not getting anything done right now is because they need a certain amount of votes on each side. Like when it came to the shutdown, we couldn't move forward.
Yeah.
If there was no filibuster, then they could have just went ahead and opened the government. The Democrats are never going to work with the Republicans. People are like, well, if we nuke the filibuster, then later, it's going to flip. And I'm like, but we have to think about right now at the moment. We need to get things done and get these things codified.
I am somewhat concerned for that since I am now just moving down here and becoming an American citizen only to you live in Florida. Florida
Yeah.
seems to be its own separate entity. Do you think should things go sideways that Florida would be affected?
No,
Good.
I don't think so. It'll stay red.
Okay. And as I understand it, certain states can operate independently of like the greater government. Is that true?
They like to think so. I mean, they still have to follow federal law, but at the same time, they all have their own regulations.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure like how things work down here is somewhat alien to me.
So, like, they have to follow federal law as far as, like, the federal agents, the whole ICE situation. They were supposed to follow what Trump ordered, which was to work with ICE, but then these states were working against him.
Right.
And it just becomes a legal nightmare to fight it.
Right.
So
yeah,
that's-
that is weird to me that the commander-in-chief stipulates a rule and then individual states can say, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to follow that. Fuck you.
Yeah. It's really
like
annoying.
that Tim Walz douchebag.
He is terrible.
I'm pretty sure he has a vagina.
I'm pretty sure, too. I think he should go to prison first.
So do I. Yeah. Yeah. He's so weak. Like I have such an aversion to weakness.
He is so weak. And he was about to be our vice president.
Yes.
And he can't even run his own state to make sure the fraud, he is either in on it or is he a complete moron? Those are the two options.
I agree. Those are the only two options.
Yeah.
You're either getting paid or you're fucking stupid.
Yeah. It might be a little of both.
All right. Last question. Since you use your voice to bring attention to matters that you feel are important, you have your podcast. What's the name of your podcast?
The Red Wave Unfiltered.
Okay. Unfiltered is good. I like that. Do you swear?
I do, but
Because I don't think you've sworn in this podcast.
I didn't know if I could, so I didn't. I usually swear.
The fuck?
Yes, I do swear.
Good for you. What do you want your legacy to be? How do you want to be seen?
I want to be seen as somebody that fights for what's right. Even if it's not the popular thing to do, I want to
That's
stand
brave.
up for what's right. And I want to make sure that our voices are protected. That is pretty much why I started my platform, because I got sick of them censoring everybody.
How long did you start that? How long ago?
It's been like 3 years.
Do you think the censorship is going to continue to ask? Like a buddy of mine in Canada had a page on Meta. He had Instagram and he had Facebook. And he had roughly 100,000 on one, and I'm not sure what he had on the other. He woke up one day with no warnings prior. Everything was deleted.
Yeah, I think the other thing about social media that I think personally, like TikTok is still going after conservatives even after the sale. There needs to be some sort, I'm not saying we need regulation on everything, but I do think that there needs to be protections against them just wiping us off the internet because they don't like what we're saying.
Right.
Like that seems like a lawsuit to me.
So you want to be remembered for speaking your truth.
Yes.
So I would lastly say to you, how do you determine within yourself what the truth is?
That's a hard part. I try to make sure that I'm really sure about something when I'm talking about it, but I think not going off of feelings and emotion and going off of information rather than, because women are very emotional and you cannot let your emotions get the best of you, because then you're just going off of how you feel and not the actual facts.
Agreed. I think that's very strong.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Hi.
We're out.